Getting a diploma to me that was my life goal, because at the previous school that I was at, I was told that there was only 3 things that was going to happen to me if I went down the same path. I would either end up dead on the streets or in jail.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know who to talk to. And by a grace of God, my son came home and said, "Mom, I think I know a place. It's called Eastside Academy."
He had a friend that had been attending Eastside Academy, so he'd heard about us and knew that we were a school that would help students address whatever issues had gotten in their way of getting their dream of a high school diploma.
I wanted to be somebody that nobody would ever expect using drugs, but really deep down inside I was that kid using and trying to cry out for help, but not really wanting to show my emotions on it.
He didn't want us to be aware of any of his struggles with drugs or alcohol. He didn't want us to know about any of his struggles of getting in fights with people. He wanted us to just think his world was in order and he just needed a little bit of help to pass his classes and he would be just fine.
Scotty's good person, good heart, but he's a little con artist. He is a little con artist. I didn't know how good he was.
Each time Scotty would test positive for drugs, Scotty would get very defensive and he would lie and say, "I haven't been using, the test is wrong."
There was a pattern of, Scotty testing positive for drugs over, several months, and he was getting really close to graduation, and one of the things that we decided as a staff was that Scotty would need to go to inpatient treatment before he received his diploma.
We brought his mom in. A couple of our staff members sat down, including Tony Martin, with Scotty.
They said I wouldn't receive my diploma unless I went to a 3-week inpatient. The feelings then, I was very disappointed. Mostly in myself. I would say I was disappointed in myself, but I was mad at them.
I didn't quite know. I thought we were kind of flipping a coin if he was going to step up and if he was going to accept that. I didn't know if his mom, Jan, was going to be supportive of that. I was hoping and I was praying.
Scotty said no, and Scotty stormed out of my office quite angry, and his mom was still pretty upset.
Eyes in tears, because right behind you're where the teachers were. Right behind you is where the graduation gowns were sitting, right in front of me.
The graduation robes were hanging up in the room, letting all the wrinkles fall out, and we were in full gear to get prepared for graduation.
I looked straight at him, and it just broke my heart.
I think was the first time she kind of stepped back and thought, maybe this is what's been happening. Maybe I don't totally know the extent of his addiction. Maybe I have not really truly understood what was going on. And for Jan, her heart's dream was for her son to graduate from high school, and her fear was, is that not gonna happen?
I was mad at them for caring so much about somebody that I thought that they didn't know at all. But deep down inside, they knew so much about me. They knew more about me than I think I knew about myself. And now that I look back at it, I think that's one of the happiest things I ever did, was having to go to rehab. I think it was one of the best opportunities in the world. And I can see that they did that because they loved and they cared about me instead of wanting to get back at me, of which I thought in the first place.
After Scotty went to rehab, we arranged for him to come back and come to chapel at the school, and had his own graduation ceremony where he was presented with his high school diploma.
I actually had the privilege of presenting his diploma to him.
When Tony handed me my diploma, my thinking was, man, I made it. Like 4 years of school, it seemed like forever. I get to start on my new life.
And Jan came to join us that day to watch her son accomplish their dream. He was able to stand in front of a group of his peers and honestly look them in the eye and say, I've done the work now to receive this. And for Scotty, it was a moment of true honesty, of not hiding behind anything anymore and pretending, but really to be able to look at his peers and say, I know what it takes to get here, and it's worth it. And I did it, and I can tell you how to do it too.
And if the school could not have done this, I can't tell you where my son would be today, except I can tell you that he would still be an active drug addict, and he would be without a high school diploma. The contributions that people make are a blessing and a godsend because it saves kids' lives.
I think one of the reasons it impacts me so much is because I'm a mother myself, and I can only begin to think of what I would want for my children if they were facing any kind of a struggle, whether that struggle was that school was just way too hard, or whether they did develop an addiction. I would want nothing more than to know that people would reach out to them no matter what the cost, that they wouldn't count the pennies and say it's not worth it, that a child's life is worth it, that no 14-year-old, no 17-year-old should have to say, my future's over, that they should get to hear, you are a precious creation, created by God for a purpose, and you do have a future.
I'm so grateful for the people that support Eastside Academy. I don't think they realize how much they help kids here.
I can't even thank all the people that have donated and continue to donate and continue to help other people. I can't thank them enough because it is truly a blessing and it's truly a saving factor, truly.
I want the people at Eastside Academy to know that I love them. I love everything they've done. I care about them so much. They're my family. I don't consider this place a school. This is my second family.
He's my hero.